Come on, BTC.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Yes, I've gone live a couple of minutes earlier, simply because I think before we start the stream, I don't want to make the stream overrun. Before we start the stream, I want to run through a few things with you. As you can see, there is a bear lying in a river, barely moving because the bear is exhausted. So, what am I going on about with yet another video of an animal? We've seen 57,000, we've now seen 54,000, we're probably going to see 52,000, but at some point, that bear needs to lie down, it needs to have a rest. And that is the message today. We need to relax. We need to take it easy. We need to be like a bear. We need to lie down in the water and we need to rest. It's a German bear living in Mount Gox. Very true, very true. Well, again, I'm not going to start the stream off like that. I just wanted to put the bear in, and I think we're going to break 54,000 on stream. So let's get going. Let's do the countdown. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. Today is the 5th of July. It's 11 AM Central European time. It's not a great day. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not a great day for the price of Bitcoin. However, today we're going to look at why this is happening, why it is not a fundamental problem with crypto, what you can do to take advantage of this. Where are we going to go to? All of these things we're going to answer in hopefully the next hour. Everything that you see on the right hand side is off the table. I'll try and get through as much of it as I can. We are going to have a look at HowLowBro. We are probably going to get to XRP. We're going to have a look at Ondo, maybe Aptos. Don't think we're going to get to India, and probably not going to get to the Deep In Police. But that is the agenda for the day. And we are going to look at Hamster Chain. Why are we going to look at Hamster Chain? Because it's cool. And not only is it cool, it will give you a a breath of fresh air, something to look at that isn't a big red candle or two. So that's what the agenda is for the day. Whether we get through most of it or not, I don't really care today. What I've tried to do as well is put together some charts for you. We're going to have a look at the Dixie, the DXY. We're going to have a look at the Ethereum pair. We're going to have a look at the Bitcoin Solana pair. We're going to have a look at where we are. I mean, the market cap is now below $2 trillion. We've touched below $2 trillion. So we need to see what coins should we be buying today. If this is your first market correction, then welcome to the show. The first time is always the most painful. Why is it the most painful? Because you don't know when it's going to end. You don't know when it's going to end. This is one of the problems. There's a saying, I use it all the time. It's always darkest before the dawn. Max pain is a crypto term used that if we want to get anywhere with Bitcoin, if we want to get anywhere in crypto, you suffer max pain. And that max pain is what you are feeling right now. You have bought Bitcoin. Maybe you bought it at $65,000 and you were expecting it to go to $80,000 by the end of the year. Maybe you bought at $74,000. Maybe you bought the top and you're looking at your portfolio now and you're down. What are you down? You're probably down 30%. Max pain is that feeling that you have right now. Nothing in life is easy. If I asked you to run a marathon today and you hadn't run since you were at school, so you're a 30-year-old lady, you're a bit unfit, and I say, right, go and run 24 miles for me. What would you do? You'd maybe make the first mile, maybe make the second mile, maybe even make the fifth mile. Would you be able to run the entire marathon without training and practice? No. Crypto is about training your brain to understand the ups and the downs in crypto. This is noise. Why is it noise? When are you planning to sell your Bitcoin? Were you planning to sell your Bitcoin today? No. So why does it matter what the price is? Were you planning to sell it in August? No. Why do you matter what the price is in August? We've talked about the bull run being sometime next year. Some people say April, some people say August. I'm thinking November. That is 15 months away. 500 days we have got to go through to get to where I think I will be selling the majority of my crypto. So in 500 days from now, are we likely to see $50,000? Probably. Are we likely to see $80,000? Probably. Are we likely to see $250,000? I certainly hope so. So why does this price matter? Buyer's remorse is when you've gone and bought your Bitcoin at $68,000 and now you're down 25%. Who cares? You're not selling it. Buy more. Buy more, bring your average price down. Dollar cost averaging, that is what we talk about all the time. Dollar cost average in. I was saying at $70,000, when people were saying, should I go all in or should I buy this? I was saying dollar cost average in over the next 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 3 months, whatever it might be. Buy your Bitcoin every Friday. Buy your Bitcoin every Monday. Because this dip will not last. So if you bought at 72,000, you would be buying at 70, 68, 65, 62, 54, maybe 52, maybe 50. So when we come out of what you consider to be this hellhole that we're in right now, guess what? The average price of your Bitcoin might be $62,000. If we're going to go to $180,000 for Bitcoin, or let's say $120,000 for Bitcoin, you're going to make 100% profit in a year. The same with Solana, the same with Ethereum. Dollar cost average in, have money on the side to put into crypto. It's all a game of patience. Warren Buffett talks about this a lot. Stock markets are taking money off the impatient and giving it to the patient. That is multiplied in crypto because the markets are so young, because crypto is so new. That's what you get. You get these massive swings. If Microsoft is up 5% in a year, people think that's a good year. If Tesla is up 10% for the year, people think that's a good return for the year. Bitcoin is down 6% in 24 hours. We've already seen it can move 25%, 20%, 15% up in 2 weeks. That's not normal. That's not what happens in the stock market. So you have to train yourself to understand the highs and the lows. As Fran says, it's always painful. This much pain means unexpected up ahead for my friends. Stay strong by the dip. I was 33% in profit this morning and dipped to 23% this afternoon. I was lucky to sell a bit at the end of March. It's bouquet, not bucket. Inflow is good. Exactly. Now, again, we are going to go on about a lot of charts now, and we're going to try and take you through the targets. It should come as not much of a surprise of where we are, given what we talked about for the M pattern only yesterday. So we're going to have a look at that chart. We're going to have a look at everything else. And remember, there's lots of charts telling us that this is emotional movement, an emotional move in crypto. What's an emotional move? It means the fundamentals of Bitcoin and the fundamentals of crypto haven't broken. That is what I'm talking about. Emotional trading is where there is a panicky, knee-jerk reaction to news. That's what we're going to go through. We are about to break 54,000, I think, any time now. So by the time we look at the chart, we will see that price. But let's have a look. Where are we? 122 billion in volume, up 40%. Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance still coming in at 72%. So the market is moving pretty much in unison. Market cap below 2 trillion, down nearly 8%, probably going to be down 10% by the end of the day. Now, this is where are we going to find some bargains? That's what you should look at today. Now, it's rare that you see 20% drops in 24 hours. 10% drops here and there. 20% drops, not so much. Brett is down to 10 cents. Notcoin, Trashcoin is down 20%. Athena is down. Gala. I mean, this is probably, in my opinion, no massive reflection of these coins because the market is selling off. Arbitrum, Floki, Arweave, Near Protocol at $4. $4. I was buying Near Protocol at $5, $5.20. I'm not going to sell. That's a long-term hold. But look at the prices you can get them at. $4. Cardano is down to 33 cents. Poor old Tariq's Litecoin is down to $57. Immutable X is down nearly at $1, $1.15. There are so many coins. What you should be doing is looking at these markets and saying to yourself, do I have enough Ethereum? Do I have enough Solana? Do I have enough Bitcoin for this bull run? Why those three? Because they are the ETF coins right now. That's where we are. Good morning, Reza. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Indeed, smash the likes. We're not getting many likes. I think people are just generally upset. So look at your portfolio. Is 50, 60, 70% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana? If not, those should be your first three priorities because they are the ETF crypto assets. In my opinion, not financial advice. Then what should you do next? What coins do you like? Do you like AI coins? Do you like real world asset coins? Do you like deep in coins? Do you like memes? Do you like layer ones, layer twos? Sit down and write down on a piece of paper what your portfolio is. What assets are you missing? Do you have enough of each? And then go back to the market and pick up the bargains in this correction, okay? Temporary correction, we hope. That's what you need to do. Indeed, Chris, smash the likes. We've had 16 votes already, by the way, on the question of the day. Are we going to hold 52,000? Yes, 75%. No, 25%. Anyway, let's move on to let's call it the elephant in the room, and that is what's happened and why. Now, luckily, we have a perfect tweet explaining what has happened. Ash Crypto, Mt. Gox, dump FUD, fear, uncertainty and doubt. Mt. Gox will start the repayment of 141,000 Bitcoin this month. The market is dumping as people are thinking Bitcoin might hit $45,000 or even $40,000. Let's go through the FUD. The distribution will happen in 3 phases, July to October. Intermediate payment, final creditors, final payment years later. So let's talk about the early payment, which is 71,500 Bitcoin. Individual creditors, funds and exchanges. Bitcoin was trading at $600 when it was hacked, and the holders are already up 100x. They're not up 100x anymore, though, are they? I think they're up 80x, 85x. Given that we're already in a bull market, the selling will be significantly less. I agree. 50% of the coins will be sold. That is 35,500 Bitcoin worth 2.1 billion. The market can handle 6,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin sell pressure as the ETF inflows are low. During high ETF inflows, Bitcoin can absorb 15,000 to 25,000 daily Bitcoins being sold. That means 35,500 is at the worst a week's worth of ETFs. At best, it is a day and a half. So a day and a half, so let's call it 6 days worth of ETF buying. Remember, 450 Bitcoin a day is being produced. The ETFs are consuming roughly 10 to 50,000 Bitcoin in a week, and in a month over 100,000 Bitcoin in a month. So if they can do 100,000 in a month, and we've got 35,000 being dumped, and that's, again, I think that's slightly pessimistic. I think it will be less. So we're talking about a week's worth of Bitcoin being dumped. So it's an emotional reaction to this. Now, what has compounded on this is the Germans decided to sell a big chunk of their Bitcoin on July the 4th. What day was July the 4th? It was Independence Day in America. Were the markets closed in America? Absolutely yes. So they dumped their Bitcoin when the American markets and ETFs were closed. What do you think happened? There was no liquidity for the Germans. The mentality of those individuals in charge of selling their Bitcoin, which they will come to regret, is utter stupidity. You sell into a bullish market. That is when you maximize your return. You don't dump it randomly on the 4th of July. Anybody would think that that was done on purpose. So 44 to 52,000 will be the area where Bitcoin will find its support, and only a black swan event could push it below that. Now, I am erring to the side of 52,000, as I will go on to in a minute. What price do I think Duke will go to? On the upside, Duke is easily a $2.50, even a $5 coin. If we vote to burn 30% of the supply of Duke, which will take it from 10 billion to 7 billion, then push that up towards a $5 to $10 Duke in a good bull run. Where will it drop to? It will go as low as the market goes. It could go to 30, 40 cents. It could absolutely tank. You set a price of how low you think a coin can go, and it can go lower. As Basil 40 was right, don't mention that at all. Well, I certainly can't mention it on the channel because it's one of those buzzwords. Justin Sun did in fact offer to buy the Bitcoin off Germany yesterday. So we'll see if that happens. However, this is a reaction. This is an emotional reaction to the charts. This is not a fundamental change in the markets. We are still in a bull run. This is a correction. Now, this is a warning. This is a warning to everybody. This 10xing, 20xing the market is not for people who don't understand 10 or 20xing the market. You can get wiped out in a day, okay? And this isn't the first person, and this isn't the first person I've shown you on the channel. Somebody lost, I think it was $12 million by longing ETH as it came down. This can happen to anybody. So my advice in these next few days, if you are in positions, strengthen your position. If you are not, in my opinion, do not open a position. You could be tempted to long Bitcoin at 52,000. I am tempted to long Bitcoin at 52,000. How you long and how you short is what makes a difference. On the exchange that you are on, you should be able to buy L and S tokens. So Bitcoin 5L, Bitcoin 3L, Bitcoin 5S. That is longing and shorting using coins. That will not end up with you being liquidated. So let's say you want to long Bitcoin, 5x long Bitcoin with $100. I would go and buy Bitcoin 5L and not go and buy, not put in a long and short position. That would be my advice for anybody wanting to do that at this moment in time, because we don't know where we're going to go. We have a rough idea where we're going to go. We're going to look at that in a minute. So just be careful, because these things can happen. You can spend 2 years building up a portfolio and it be gone in a day. So be careful. Let's move on. I don't even know if any of these tweets are really of any use today. Top 30 currencies were highest crypto ownership rate in 2024. UAE, Singapore, Turkey, Argentina, and Thailand in the top 5. Am I surprised? No. Why? Because Turkey, Argentina, and Thailand have debasement going on their currencies. Argentina is doing its best to try and get away from that. And of course, UAE and Singapore, they are where the crypto bros and crypto investors are as well. So I'm not surprised by that. And one other thing, again, Plan B always comes to the rescue, always gives you a warm feeling in your stomach. The German government is selling 50,000 Bitcoin. Mt. Gox is giving 142,000 back to investors. I see nothing in the data that indicates structural weakness in the charts. That's the key. Structural weakness in the charts. Now, I don't think we're going to go through any more of these. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you some things which you should understand are massively bullish. The first one is the Dixie. Now, I've shown you this already twice in the last week and a half. The Dixie has been coming up to this point, which I probably circled. It looks as if we did this last Wednesday, so a week and a half ago. And I said we were going to come to a point which was this line here, roughly this line here, which is where we are going to break or make a move. It's actually about there, the 19th of August. Funnily enough, the Oracle himself, Brogan, has said that something major is going to happen on the 18th of August and we're going to break out. So where are we? What is going on? Well, it's breaking down, and it's breaking down to its bull market support band, which sounds really strange that the US dollar index can have a bull market support band, but it does hold, and we do bounce off it. So what do we want to see? For a strong Bitcoin, this needs to come down. Now, we are coming down on the DXY, but guess what? Bitcoin is doing that. In fact, Bitcoin's fallen so far, it won't fit on my chart. So if Bitcoin is coming down, and the DXY is coming down, which is more of a macro indicator than the price of Bitcoin on its own, it would indicate that the price action on Bitcoin at this moment in time is not a reflection of the market. What do I mean by that? If the DXY broke out and went to, let's say, 107.2. So let's say the DXY broke out to this level, then everything we're seeing right now is accurate. But it's not. It's crashing back to its support band. The DXY is the strength of the dollar against the market. The weaker the dollar, traditionally, the better Bitcoin has done. So indication number one, the dollar is coming down and it's losing its strength. That's a bullish signal for Bitcoin. The stock markets in America, all-time highs. Guess what? We are not seeing massive all-time highs in Bitcoin. So the stock market is going up. The dollar index is coming down. Bitcoin is wetting the bed. Why is Bitcoin wetting the bed? It's clearly not a fundamental structural problem in Bitcoin. It's a problem with news. It's a news-based problem. Now, this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. So what this shows you, and the reason I couldn't show you this the other day wasn't anything super important. I was just typing the ordering wrong. I was typing in BTC ETH. I should have been typing in ETH BTC. Anyway, let's change this around a bit and actually make it visible for you. So what is this? Without going off into a tangent. August 2022, you could get 1 Bitcoin for 11 ETH. Or you could buy 11 ETH for 1 Bitcoin. Ethereum lost its strength against Bitcoin. This line here, which is where I said it would come to, is you would be able to buy 25 ETH for 1 Bitcoin. So we would go from 11 ETH to 1 Bitcoin to 25 ETH to 1 Bitcoin. Now, the ETF news is starting to break us out. But what we're doing, because of this correction in the market, we're starting to come back down. So what does that mean? It means, at this moment in time, we could, with the ETF going live, see Ethereum doing this. That means that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin potentially over the next 6 to 12 months in comparison with each other. And maybe we never reach 25 ETH to 1 Bitcoin. Maybe we come back up here. I've got some lines on the chart here which we've managed to hit. We've managed to bounce off that line. Maybe we come up here. We don't know exactly where it's going to go because we don't know the impact of the ETF. But what I'm saying is that Ethereum is suddenly becoming a desirable asset to hold outside of just holding Bitcoin. That's the point of this chart. So the takeaway here, Ethereum is still starting to outperform Bitcoin. In the last few weeks, since April, pretty much it's been on a bit of a recovery, beginning of May. So the last 2 months, Ethereum has been a better hold than Bitcoin. Now the second one to look at is, of course, the third ETF, which is likely to be approved. That is Solana. How is Solana performing against Bitcoin? Actually not that bad. Certainly a lot better than Ethereum. So this drawing, who knows who drew this? This could be a cave painting. I don't know how long ago it's been since I looked at this. So where is Ethereum? Ethereum went in the June lows, 1900 Solana for 1 Bitcoin. To today, 422 Solana for 1 Bitcoin. And if we move up here, the chart decides to move for me, at its peak it was 250 Sol for 1 Bitcoin. So I think, again, had you held Solana since July last year, you would have outperformed Bitcoin. You would be getting more Bitcoin for your Solana. And again, I expect Solana to outperform Bitcoin over the next 6 to 12 months. Why? Because of the Solana ETF. If we're talking about Bitcoin doing a 3x over the next 15 months, maybe a 4x over the next 15 months, what is Solana going to do? Well, a 4x would only put it at $500 right now. But we're all expecting $1,000 Solana, and maybe we get there, maybe we fall short and get to 800. Well, if we get to 800, that's still a 7x. So a 7x compared to a 4x, clearly Solana is going to outperform Bitcoin. Conservatively, that's where I draw the line. I'm not going to say XRP, I'm not going to say ADA, I'm not going to say AVAX or Ondo or any of those other coins. This is the time to buy the assets which are going to hold the value for the bull run. So Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. I'm not saying you sell your Bitcoin for Solana. What I'm saying is you hold your Bitcoin, you hold your Ethereum, you hold your Solana, and you accumulate more of those assets. You know when you have a new manager take over a football team? You know, Alex Ferguson retires and the new manager comes in and they lose 13 games on the trot. And the manager gets sacked and a new manager comes in. What does that new manager do? In times of panic, in times of emergency, you go back to basics. You become hard to beat. You stop being risk on in crypto and you go risk off in crypto. This is the bull run. Your bags should be packed by now. If you're new to crypto, all your bags are packed and you want to add more, you want to accumulate more at these prices, for me, your Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. If you have way more than you want, let's say you're 75% Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum, and you want to top up your 25% because the prices are down 50%, you do then go and buy what I was saying at the minute, real world assets, your D-pins, your meme coins. You go and buy your AI tokens. I mean, AI is getting absolutely annihilated right now. They haven't become bad tokens overnight. The same way footballers, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo has 3 or 4 bad games. Is he still the GOAT? Yes, he's just played badly 3 or 4 times. Crypto assets, assets that make money, make a dividend, make a profit, those don't become bad assets because Mt. Gox is selling its Bitcoin. Ethereum should not be dumping because Mt. Gox is dumping Bitcoin. So it's an emotional reaction to what's going on. And this is when I've made the most money in the stock market. I bought Barclays shares when they went to 32p. I bought Rolls-Royce when it went to, I don't know what it was, $1.75 or £3 at £3, I can't remember. I bought Party Gaming back in the day. I've bought stocks when the market has emotionally reacted. It's when you make the most money because people panic sell. So we're going to go and have a look at that in a minute anyway. So Mr. Clock, exactly. So yeah, exactly. Smash the likes. I'm not being positive for the sake of being positive, by the way. I am not here to you know, fluff the truth. The truth is we are in a downturn. But the reason we're in a downturn is more important than being in the downturn. Because if you don't understand what's going on, it can become blind panic. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand. This isn't a structural problem. It's a news-based emotional reaction. So Bitcoin is falling. How low will it go? We still haven't hit the bottom, analysts say. Let's see what they say before I give you my predictions. What are we? We're 11:30. We're halfway in, and we've made it to the first article. I don't think we're getting through the show today. So it's fallen 6%. It's dropped even more. It's gone below 57,000. Mt. Gox is starting to sell. The German government is starting to sell. Everybody is spooked. There's blood in the streets. The short-term outlook is bearish, but not extremely so. Basil Mayer, co-founder of Decentralized Exchange, never heard of it, DX, never heard of that at all, and former bank treasury specialist. So the macro environmental conditions and the uncertainty clouding the US elections. There's no uncertainty about the US elections. Trump is going to win. I don't care if it's Michael Obama. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. I don't care who it is. Trump's going to win. He's got a landslide victory. We're in July, August, September, October, November, 4 months. Nobody's going to turn around his lead in 4 months. They're trying to throw everything at him. They put a video up of him talking about Kamala Harris, and he said some naughty words, which I'm not going to repeat. But you know what? Every one of those words was accurate, because she's not a VP. She is not a VP. If you compare Obama and what he had with the Democrats to what we have today, it's a shambles. And that's the problem with the Democrats. It's not suddenly everybody over there has become a Republican. It's because Biden doesn't have any opposition. And he's got the worst VP in the history of America. And also, that young lady that tries to be the press officer, or whatever she is, she's terrible. So they are just rubbish. And that's why they're going to lose. And Michelle or Michael, whatever you want to call them, coming in is not going to solve the fundamental problem with the Democrats. So there's no uncertainty. Trump is going to win. The macro-environmental conditions are still good. That's a key. Interest rates are going to come down. Inflation is coming down. It's above the target rate by fractions. And Bitcoin is absolutely tanking. Bitcoin options market based on July expiry. Believe the price will go below 50,000. There's a cluster between 50 and 60 with more volume closer to 60. So Bitcoin will end the month close to 60,000 than anywhere else, according to Mayor. Bitcoin is more likely to fall to 51.5 than rise to 65.8. Alex Kuptishevich, let's call him Alex. Alex identified the $50,000 market as the February consolidation area, meaning the price point where Bitcoin will stop next. How far Bitcoin can go will depend largely on the continued selling by large entities. We can see some support in the lower 50s when Bitcoin was stagnating between 50 and 52 in February. So at least we're all talking about the same numbers. Crypto ETFs belong to the most volatile investments in a traditional investment portfolio, otherwise consisting of bonds, diversified stocks and commodities. Therefore, whenever the portfolio managers need to sell the most risky assets, crypto is the candidate. Despite the correction, the options market is still heavily skewed towards growth. There are long-term options at 100 and 120,000. This points to the likelihood of a resumption of the rally by the end of the year. In other words, just hold on a little longer. And while that's certainly been a winning strategy for the earliest Bitcoin buyers, anyone who bought at the peak last March is certainly feeling the pain. And that's what it is, it's pain. But remember, let's not panic. Where are the biggest buy orders for Bitcoin, Rusty? They were at $55,000 and we filled them. That's where the buy orders were at. The target for the moneymakers is 62,000. There will be over $2 billion worth of shorts liquidated at that price. Real-time data on where those shorts are now, the Oracle has. I don't have them to hand. I prepared the stream last night. I've had to re-prepare the stream this morning because of what's happened. So let's go look at the Bitcoin chart and I will show you where I think we are headed. And we did kind of expect this. So daily, that is what we are likely to see. Now, for those of you that have been here for a while, you will know that this was my move. That's where the move was. That was going to bring us down to 57,000. We've broken below that. So where is the target? Well, we can say that this target is anywhere between 51 and 52,000. That is the next area where we need to really hold the line. I would say this line here is about next. If we go lower, for argument's sake, and I don't want to really panic anybody, but where would we go if we went lower? Well, look at where previous price action was, 44,000. Now, I really don't think we're going to 44,000. I can't see it. As the article said at the start, we would need a black swan to get down to this level. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. It means it's unlikely. I'm 90% certain we will bounce off 51 to 52,000 because it completes the M pattern. 44,000 takes us back to the start of the year, pre-Bitcoin halving, pre-Bitcoin halving, pre-Bitcoin ETF. I don't see it. 51 to 52 is where we should find some support. Then, where do we need to get to? We are now a long way from home, Dorothy. We are a long way from our bull market support band. Our bull market support band, top of it is coming in at 65,000-ish. So to get back into bullish territory, we need to be back above 65. That's not happening anytime soon. All right, Pascal, off you go. Take care, mate. Have a great weekend if I don't see you before. And don't worry. 54.3. I think the Oracle last night said we were looking at a bottom of about 55,000. We've come down to pretty much where he said. I called him overly bearish, but he turns out to be right. Hopefully we will have a bounce. Now, where are we? On the RSI. Let's have a little look at the RSI. Wow. Okay, so the RSI, the daily RSI is now coming in at 24. When was the last time we were this low? Here. Should we see what happened here? When was this? This was August. So the last time we were this low was when we were at $26,000. That's the last time we came down here. And then we had somewhat of a minor recovery. Now, I'm not saying that we copy this because obviously it's emotional, but emotions tend to fade over time. You know, your boyfriend or your girlfriend dumps you, you cry for a few weeks, you get over it. Okay? This is emotional right now. There's a lot of people really hurting, and I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this that are really hurting. But it is always darkest before the dawn. Nothing goes down or up forever. This correction from 70,000, wherever it was here, hang on a second. What has this taken us down to? We are now down exactly 25%. Okay? 25% is a healthy retracement. You might not think it, but I think it's a little bit ironic that it's exactly 20%, 25%. Could we go to 30%? Should we see where 30% would take us? This is where I never get this working. There we go. So where would 30% take us? 30% would take us to $50,000. Let's put it right there. There you go. So, screenshot that. That's my prediction. 50,150. That's exactly a 30% correction from where we touched. That is the worst case scenario. It kind of ties in nearly with if we just borrow another one of these lines. Let's see where that takes us down to. So let's borrow this one. So 50,100. Yeah, that kind of takes us to there. Yeah, I mean 50,150 is a 30% correction. So yeah, I think that's a possibility. But I don't know whether we're gonna break too far down below that. I mean, that is really the bottom, and it's more fear-driven than correction. So I would just say hold tight. I wouldn't be panic selling right now. Right then, let's move on very quickly. Where are we going to get to? We've got 20 minutes left. Let's throw the XRP article in the window, out the window, sorry. Let's move on and look at Ondo. What is Ondo? Ondo is a real world asset project, and it's probably in the bin right now. I would hope it's down somewhere near $1. I bought Ondo at $1.18. That's just what I paid for it. Do I care? No. Do I care that it's down? No. Did I dollar cost average in? No. Because I had a certain amount of Ondo I wanted to buy, and I bought it, and I don't care what the price is now because I'm not selling. That's the mentality you need. Do I care that I missed this buying opportunity to get more? No, because I will buy more again. Where could Ondo come to? Well, ideally, if we see more capitulation to the downside, this zone here, 80, well, let's have a look, 73 to 85 cents. Anything below $1 for Ondo is an absolute bargain. What is there to worry about? This is what you could worry about. Look at that. Hang on a second. Look at that. That was beautiful. It was up, it was up, it was up, it's crashed. Is it going to be a temporary thing? Yes. Is it going to continue in that direction? Yes, absolutely it is. So Ondo, 93 cents, absolute steal. Let's see what they're saying about it anyway. Ondo price could soon be falling through the support level at 108 after testing it thrice in 2 weeks. The whales are driving the price down with more than $141 million worth of Ondo sold in a single day. This was July the 4th last night, okay. On the other hand, retail investors are preventing a decline in holding, which is evident in the rise in mid-term holders. Ondo's price action is an interesting case, as generally when investors panic, the whales save the crypto asset from sharp declines. However, in the case of these altcoins, real investors are saving the day. Over the last couple of days, whales addresses holding 10 and 100 million Ondo have dumped more than 132 million. Well, they clearly knew what was going to happen on the market with Mt. Gox. And there is the price action. However, this did not sit well with other investors who've been attempting to prevent severe price drawdown. Retail investors have been focusing on holding over selling for any reason. This is evident in the rise in mid-term holders. I think this should be a coin that you hold for the bull run. I don't think it's fully reached its top. I think we are good. I think we are going to hold the line on this one, absolutely. Now remember, if you're new here, give us a follow, smash the like button. If you're here and you're worried about Bitcoin, 52,000, then 50,000 are the levels to look for some kind of reversal. I don't see us crashing through the floor and going to $25,000. I think it's an emotional reaction. I don't think it is a fundamental problem. So if you are new here, don't panic. Smash the like button, give us a follow, and relax. I forgot to say, bottom left-hand corner, we just crept over 144,000 followers last night, soon to be 150,000. So give us a follow, help us out. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free. We stream every day, Monday to Saturday, and we stream twice at night. So 8 streams a day. Whether we stream tomorrow or not is a different matter, because we're getting to the end of these weeks and we are exhausted. So whether we stream tomorrow or not is a different matter. Now, Aptos launches keyless wallets that use ZK proofs to verify identities. I'm hearing a lot of good, positive things coming out of Aptos, and there's a lot of momentum going into Aptos. This is another step of getting adoption. Aptos Connect allows users to log in with a Google ID without needing an MPC network, magic links, or Windows passkey. Very nice. And zero knowledge is one of the big things of the time anyway, so this is a good move. Aptos Blockchain has launched a web-hosted keyless wallet application that uses ZK proofs to verify users, called Aptos Connect. The new wallet allows users to connect to decentralized applications using a Google login without needing hardware security modules, passkeys, or a multi-party computational network. According to the announcement, Aptos Connect simplifies Web3 onboarding by allowing users to create and manage Aptos blockchain accounts in one click with their Google login, eliminating the need for private keys and providing a seamless experience within the app. Again, massive news. Am I happy about this? I certainly am. Do I think it's good news for Aptos? I certainly do. Should we go and have a look at the Aptos price, which I've not got any of the charts prepared because I just didn't know what was going to happen today. So let's go and have a look at Aptos, see where we are. Again, I'm not going to, at this moment in time, make suggestions for any coins, okay? The issue is that you should be trying to pick up top tier blue chip coins right now, in my opinion. If you are already full, fine, then look at picking up some other bargains. Ondo, go and get some near protocol. Go and get, maybe you like Render, maybe you like the new ASI coin. Look at where we are with Aptos. We are back to the lows before the bull run started. $5.40. That's where we are, absolutely tanking on every coin. Where is it likely to bounce? $4.60. But don't expect it to just hold $4.60. If this capitulation carries on for another 5% on Bitcoin, we've come down 25, we could come down 30. Expect these coins to put in lower lows. And in this case, the lowest low is 340. So we could go there. Maybe we go down there, but I mean, seriously, we talk about the kill zone. The kill zone is where you can pick up your tokens on the cheap. Aptos is certainly in that zone. I'm fairly bullish on Aptos. I don't hold it. It's making all the right noises. Don't worry. Don't panic. If you want Aptos and you want to buy it, this is a good price. Is the bull run over? Ask yourself that question. No, it isn't. The bull run isn't over. It's barely begun. We've gone through it time and time again. Miners have been capitulating. Germany is selling. Mt. Gox is selling. It's downward pressure, but it's contained downward pressure. At some point, Mt. Gox had to happen. At some point, Germany was going to sell. At some point, the miners were going to sell after the halving. These are all events that were going to happen at some point. Do we want them now, or do we want them next summer when we're trying to get towards 150 or 250, whatever price Bitcoin can go to? Do we want them then, or do we want them now? We want them now. We want them all out the way. We want to go into this bull run. Think of it this way. Let's project into the future. It is October the 1st. No, it's not. It's October the 2nd, because that's my birthday. It's October the 2nd. Mt. Gox has pretty much been distributed. Germany has finished selling. The miners have run out of Bitcoin to sell. We have a Solana ETF approved. We have an Ethereum ETF live, and we have the Bitcoin ETF chugging along. We also have interest rates cuts across Europe, Asia, and America. Where is the price of Bitcoin going to be on my hypothetical October the 2nd? Think of that. Where do you think Bitcoin is going to be? Do you think Bitcoin on October the 2nd, let's put a little line in. Let's go to my birthday, which is, that's really weird. Let's say there, okay? Where is the price of Bitcoin going to be? Is it going to be there? Or is it going to be there? Okay, where is the price of Bitcoin going to be at the end of September, beginning of October? If you were a betting man or woman, where do you think the price would be? Given what I've just told you, it's going to be at $85,000, more likely than it will be at $38,000. Probably, I would give this a 90% chance. And I would say there's a 10% chance of this because there could be a black swan. We could absolutely capitulate over a black swan. So given this, why is this noise affecting you? It shouldn't be. So whether you want Aptos or not is entirely up to you. If it's a coin that you've researched and you've liked, you're getting it at absolutely bargain prices right now. And that's what you should be worried about. Up only bros are selling at 50k. Exactly. That's the thing. As I said at the beginning, if I asked you to run a marathon today, would you be able to do it? No, because you're not physically fit. If I asked you to cope with the next 15 months of crypto, and you're new to crypto, you're not going to cope with this very well. Because influencers, they make money by telling you one of two things. They make money by doing a stream like this and saying, it's going to come down here. We're going down here. We're going to be down below 40,000 by August. It's over. Okay? Why? Because you'll click their link. And you'll click their link and they get money off the advertising of you watching their video. Okay? When Bitcoin was up here, where were they telling you the price was going to go? They were telling you we're going to be at 100,000 by August. That's what they were telling you. Okay? Now we're down here. Where are they telling you we're going to go? We're going to go down here. What does the market do? The market does the opposite of what these crypto shillfluencers tell you it's going to do. When they think, well, when they say it's going to 100,000, we drop. When they say we're going to 10,000, we go up. Gareth Salloway, perfect example. He has been shorting Bitcoin from $30,000. He has a nice big TV, probably a 72-inch TV, where he draws his lines with his pens, telling you we're going down. Now, that's not picking on Gareth Salloway, because it's easy, 2020 vision, to say he was wrong. The same way I've got $74,000 in the bottom right-hand corner, because that's my target for Bitcoin. That's what we have to break to get back into new all-time highs. I didn't think we'd be at $54,000 today. I didn't know where we would be. I'm saying over time we're going to trend up, but there's a flush that has to happen. That flush was the miners. It's been compounded by the Germans. It's now been compounded by Mt. Gox. You have to mentally prepare yourself for these moves. We're down 25%. We could go down 30%. Don't worry. If you know that, you're adding a certain level of certainty to your trading. You also know that if you're going to dollar cost average in starting today and you buy every Friday for the next 8 weeks or 12 weeks, the likelihood is you will own a 54,000, a 52,000, a 50, maybe a 49,000, maybe a 55,000, maybe a 58,000 Bitcoin. Combine that together, you might have an average price of $56,000. Well, guess what? If we go to 112,000, you're in the money. Don't panic. Don't worry. I'm not selling. I haven't sold anything. The only thing I've done is swapped some, what did I swap? Algorand. I swapped Algorand for Near Protocol. And then I swapped some of my other staking rewards. I swapped them and bought 600 Ondo. That's all I've done. I think they're the only trades I've made in the last 3 months. But I tell you what I'm buying. Now, you don't have to believe me at all. I don't expect you to. I'm just being honest. That's what I've bought. I've bought Near Protocol and I've bought Ondo. That's it. I may buy which is Mantra. I may buy that. If it goes to a silly price in the next few weeks, I may buy that. But again, I don't want to end up owning 50 cryptos going into the bull run. That's never my intention. Good morning. Good morning. So Chris is born the week before me. Okay, let's move on then. So, what should we talk about before we close? Let's look at this. This is an interesting article. The article about India and India sticking is actually a seismic decision. It might not sound it, because you don't know what I'm talking about yet. India has decided to not swap the petrodollar for the yuan, the Chinese yuan. So it's going to stick with the American dollar. That's seismic. They've got 1 billion people, I think, in India. They've got 1 billion people in India. Is China 3 billion? India 1 billion? Something like that. So 1 billion country. India's going to be a top 5 economy in the next 5 years, if it's not already next 2 years. Modi is there. Maybe they've had a deal with America. Who knows? But keeping the petrodollar is going to keep the dollar strong. Now, that was that article. We don't need to talk about that. I don't want to, a lot of people today are going to be numb, and I understand that. When I started in crypto, and as I said, I made a members-only video today. I was talking about when I was buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell from, I think, 18,000 down to 3, and I was buying Bitcoin every day. I think I was buying $300 worth of Bitcoin every day. And I was laughing as I was buying it because I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I was numb to the price. I was numb to what was going on. This was, I don't know how many years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whenever it was. But the point of the matter is, I had belief that this was going to go on to be a higher priced asset. The same way as when I was talking before about buying Rolls-Royce or Barclays or Party Gaming shares. Those shares were massively undervalued. So a lot of you are in this position today where you're numb. You just want to think, I'm throw my cards in. I've had enough. It's noise. It's all noise. If your plan is to sell in November next year, does it matter if Bitcoin goes to $1 if it's going to be at $100,000 in November? No. Let's have this conversation again when we're back over $65,000 and remember how you feel today, and we'll have that conversation at $65,000, and we'll have the same conversation at $75,000, and I will keep bringing it up in the stream. Do you remember how you felt at $55,000? And we'll see if you keep the memory alive of how you're feeling today when we're going on higher prices and whatever. It will hopefully remind you to take profits along the way, because that's another thing. At this moment in time, you want to sell. When the price is going through the roof, you want to hold. You don't want to sell anything, and that's the wrong way. You should be buying now and selling at the top, not the other way around. You shouldn't be capitulating like the markets. Don't sell now. It's like if you own a house and you've lived in that house for 15 years, and you decide, right, it's a recession, I'm going to sell my house. Well, you're going to get 25% less for your house. Wait, ride out the storm, live in that house for the 2 years, sell at the top. That's what you would do in real life. So why are you going to do it any differently in crypto? So DePIN networks, decentralized physical infrastructure, DePIN. Crypto is rigged, Bitcoin isn't falling much, and the rest of the market is crashing. Peter, I've joined you, this is beyond rigged. It's not beyond rigged. We've already gone through why we're at these prices. Mt. Gox, fear, uncertainty and doubt. People are capitulating, people are panicking. When people panic, they make rash decisions. That's what we're seeing right now. Again, let's have this conversation in a month's time, and let's see where we are, because we're certainly not going to be where we are today. Everything from radar arrays to acoustic networks that triangulate active... We can't read that out. A new report from venture capital firm Z Prime Capital suggests that decentralized physical infrastructure networks have the potential to transform law enforcement. These networks could shift law enforcement from state-controlled centralized structures to community-based enterprises, maximizing transparency. Doesn't this sound like RoboCop? So I remember them having this conversation about why RoboCop was a good idea, to have RoboCops walking around your streets. Then they had dogs, then they had that big thing with guns for arms. It was terrible. So decentralized security is a nascent subsector of distributed infrastructure that involves building distributed surveillance and law enforcement architecture, like ballistic triangulation systems, radar arrays, and community patrol, decentralized autonomous organizations. Not too sure about this. DSEC applications go far beyond community policing or decentralizing law enforcement. Decentralized security architecture provides novel incentives for local communities to reinforce existing electrical infrastructure, shielding it from highly disruptive events such as coronal mass ejections from the sun. Incredible. What are we talking about here? So let's cut to the chase. It's the imperative for the survival of our species that we actively have the ability to speak outrageous thoughts and revolt against tyranny. If the asymmetry between enforcement and capacity to revolt becomes too big, we're enabling minority report-like tyranny. Absolutely agree. That's where I was going to suggest. Now, what I think is there's a trade-off with AI between catching criminals and monitoring populations. And that trade-off for me has to be very carefully monitored, because you don't want unlawfulness. You want people who commit crimes to be arrested and put in jail. That's what you want. But you also don't want to be spied on. You don't want that information to be sold. So there needs to be rail guards. Now, decentralized physical infrastructures have become again the buzzword. Why? Because AI is now allowing them to introduce certain things. For example, in the UK, they are building a fleet of drones to patrol nuclear power stations as a guard, if you like, to protect the power stations from various nefarious people, should we say. So again, I think in the short term, there's going to be a lot of noise. I think in the long term, it's going to be solved, and we're going to come to a natural conclusion on this. Let's have a read of these. At least with shares, you own a document in hand saying it's legal. With crypto, you don't have paper or certificate. That is very true. Aero is half the price now it was, and that's legal and governed. Of course, everything will fall. When the market capitulates, which it has done, and this isn't the first time it's happened, when the market capitulates, the emotional trading causes it to go deeper and further than it should. For example, if BP releases its figures saying that profits are down, well, guess what? That also affects the share price of Shell. It happens because it's an industry-wide signal that maybe the profits in gas and oil aren't as high as they should be. The same with miners, physical miners that go and get diamonds and gold. They are a very, well, especially for stocks and shares, a very volatile share to hold. If somebody comes in and says, you know, the price of diamonds is falling or the price of gold is falling, you will see 10% swings on those stocks and shares. It's just contagion, and contagion affects everything. We are seeing the contagion of Mt. Gox filling into each asset. That does not mean those assets have become bad assets overnight. The same way Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't become a bad footballer because he's had 3 bad performances. If Jupiter is turning over $1 billion a month and generating $100 million a month, and it's been doing that for the last 12 months, does it matter that the price of Jupe has gone from $1.10 to 45 cents? No, but what it does mean is that $100 million worth of generated wealth is now going to shares worth 45 cents, not $1.05. So why are you not buying them at 45 cents? It's not about the fundamental structure of where we are. It's about the contagion and the fear in the market. That's why everybody is in a mass panic. Germany decided to sell their Bitcoin on July the 4th when the American markets were closed. Okay? Did a man in a black hat phone them and tell them to do it on July the 4th? No. Did this mysterious man tell Mt. Gox to start distributing their Bitcoin the day after or the same day? No. For the markets to be rigged, you're talking about market makers moving a $2 trillion asset class by managing to move completely independent pieces around the board. Now, can a $200 million or $100 million crypto asset be manipulated? Yes, and we've called it out on the channel and we've shown you. Can the entire crypto space be manipulated by these nefarious figures outside of the government? Absolutely not. The closest we've seen to manipulation of the crypto markets has been the Biden administration and Gary Gensler. And how do we know that? Because they were anti-crypto until the year of the election, and now suddenly we've got the Bitcoin ETF, we've got the Ethereum ETF approved, and we've got the Solana ETF being submitted. That is clear manipulation for political gain by the American government, and I will accept that. What I will not accept is that the price of Aero is being pushed down by these nefarious individuals. These are liquidations. These are caused by independent factors that are all collating at the same time. The same way we have the perfect storm of the Bitcoin halving and the Bitcoin ETF pushed us to $74,000. You can have perfect storms and you can have imperfect storms, and that's what we're going through right now. And again, I understand there's a lot of people out there who are really hurting, and if the first time they've been through this, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to take. But when you've had 3, 4, 5, 25% corrections, you become numb to them. Because the point of this is, when are you selling your Bitcoin? Why are you looking at the price of your portfolio today if you're not planning to sell today? You look at the price of your portfolio at the time frame you want to sell. Now, if that is April next year, you should be looking at your portfolio in March. What assets am I going to sell in April, and make a plan to dollar cost average out. If your target is November, then you look at your portfolio in September or October and say, right, are we near the top? What's the price? How's the RSI looking on the weekly? Where's the Bitcoin price at? Where's the money flow? Then you dollar cost average out. What's the point? I could quite easily sit here and tell you my portfolio is down $150,000 since February. What difference does it make? Because I'm not selling it today. I'm not selling it tomorrow. I'm selling it in 15 months' time. That is when I'm selling it. This is a capitulation, cascading liquidations based on Germany selling to an illiquid market, followed by Mt. Gox news. It is terrible timing, yes. It is not market manipulation. That is not what is happening right now. This is people being panicked, absolutely panicked. And I don't think we're done. Like I said, I think we might come in at 51 or 52,000, and then we need to assess, are we going to go even lower? Are we going to see what we expect to see? But in the long term, this is not the end of the bull run. The miners are going to run out of Bitcoin to sell. Remember, the miners need a higher price Bitcoin. They can't survive on a $55,000 Bitcoin. They need probably now an $80,000, $75,000 Bitcoin. And guess what? The price of Bitcoin goes to those levels. So don't panic. I know it's 10 past 12. I have overrun a little bit. Don't worry. This isn't the bear market, no. This is not the bear market. You don't have a bear market 3 months after the halving. And what we have is we've had a surge because of the Bitcoin ETF. And I said this time and time again. The Bitcoin ETF broke the price of Bitcoin. And it did. We put in an all-time high for the first time ever before the halving. For the first time ever. So where should we be? We should be at $45,000 today. We should be at $45,000 today, but the Bitcoin ETF and that surge in demand pushed the price so much higher. And they haven't finished buying. They haven't even started buying yet. So this isn't a bull market. It could end up being a super cycle. And that's the thing to understand, is we're going to see these capitulations. We might have another 4 of these before the end of the bull run. So, as I was saying probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, we could go to $95,000 and retrace to $75,000, and everybody would think the world is ending. It's all like, where were we last July? A year ago, where were we? $20,000? Were we at $25,000? We're over 100% up in a year. Pre-bull run. It's all positive until the macro climate fundamentally changes to be negative. What would that be? It would be conflict. It would be a pandemic. It would be Biden winning the next election and keeping Gary Gensler in charge. And Gary Gensler changes his stance on crypto to be negative. All of those things happening at the same time. It could be another black swan that we don't know about. There's lots of black swans. Black swans cannot be ignored. I get that. But it's not a reason to decide we're going to go into a bear market 3 months after the halving. October is when the miners run out of Bitcoin. By October, there will be no more Mt. Gox problems. By October, the Germans will have finished selling. Then it's finished. Who's left to sell? Once Mt. Gox is finished with, once the Germans are finished with, who is left to sell Bitcoin? There's nobody. There's nobody left to sell Bitcoin. So then, if there's no overhang, we've had Mt. Gox hanging over us for, 8 years? And it's been just one of those things that we all know it was going to happen one day. And it's happening today and tomorrow and next week. It's an overhang. ETF broke the market 3 months after halving, make the shortest bull market. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. Again, we will have this conversation again at $65,000, and we'll have it at $75,000. We are not in a bear market. The macro climate is not bearish. These are, okay, interest rates are a macro environmental factor. The DXY, macro environmental factor. The American government, macro environmental factor. Mt. Gox is a one-off distribution of Bitcoin from a time when it was hacked. A one-off. The Germans selling their Bitcoin is a one-off. These are one-off events. These are not macro environmental factors. If America was in a recession, if Biden had 3 more years left in power, if inflation was at 8%, if we had a pandemic, we would be going a lot lower than we are today. None of those things are happening. People want results, not talking in what ifs. If you want results, you should understand that we're in a 4-year cycle. And that 4-year cycle is 18 months after the halving, you get to all-time highs. I've told you this for a year. 18 months after the halving, which was April 2024, takes you to December 2025. If you think we are going to go straight up for 18 months, you have never studied Bitcoin. That's not how it works, okay? You have to study. You cannot come into crypto, buy some cryptos, and expect it to 100x in a year. It doesn't happen that way. And if that's the way you're thinking about it, go and get the Bitcoin chart from the last 8 years, put it up on your screen, and look how often we go up. 30% of the time over the last 8 years, we've gone up. 70% of the time, we've gone down. Today, we're at $55,000. 8 years ago, we were at $3,000. So we've moved up nearly 20% in 8 years. If that isn't results, 20x, not 20%. We've moved up 20x in that time. That's what you need to look at. Okay? Not short-term volatility based on one-off events. Because if that's the way you're thinking, you need to close your computer, don't look at crypto until December next year. I guarantee you we will be higher than 55,000. That is not the way to accumulate wealth. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Crypto is not get-rich-quick. It is a way to accumulate wealth where you accumulate it in the bear market and you sell at the top of the bull run. We are not at the top of the bull run. You can't turn around and say, we want results, not what ifs. Well, if you want results, go to November next year. You're planning to sell in December. I never suggested December was a great idea. That's when you want to sell. You sell in November next year, or October, or September, whenever that month is. That's when you sell. Okay? You don't sell halfway through a bull run because you're not going to get the gains. Okay? If you buy $50 to $100 million market cap coins, they will have their own mini runs within the bull run. They will run up like Ondo has done, like Solana did in the last bull run. You could have bought Solana at $5 and it went to $250. That's a 50x within the bull run, okay? But I am not going to sit here and tell people to buy $50 to $100 million market cap coins because they are highly speculative, and that's not my job. My job, remember, is not to make you rich, it's to try and stop you from becoming poor. And to do that, I warn you about meme coins, I warn you about buying into projects near all-time highs, I warn you about everything. If you have a different time scale to what I am telling you, which is summer to winter next year, that's my time frame. If you have a different time frame, I'm telling you your time frame is not the end of the bull run. We could hit $95,000 in October and be at $70,000 in December. So when should you have sold? Basing your target on a month and not a price is where you will come unstuck. Okay? If you bought Aero at 50 cents and it gets to $3, you should take profits. If you buy Ondo at 90 cents today and it goes to $2.70, you should take profits. That's my advice. But saying I'm going to sell on the 24th of December 2024 is the wrong way to look at it. We could be at $150,000 Bitcoin in summer next year. If you've bought that at $25,000, you should be taking some profits. That's what you should be doing. Even though you're not at the end of the bull run, you should be taking some profits. Because we might have a double top like we did last time, have an April and a November. But maybe the November top isn't as high as the April top. We don't know. But you cannot pick a date and say, I'm out on this day. You can say, I'm out at this price, or roughly 18 months after the halving, I am out. And you can go and find the 4-year cycle on Bitcoin, and you can study that to your heart's content, and it will say the same thing. And yes, it can be different. We front run the prices because of the ETFs, like Kabir said. The ETFs broke the price of Bitcoin by adding such a level of demand. But that doesn't mean the cycle is broken. The miners haven't stopped selling yet. The price of Bitcoin cannot go up when the miners are selling. It will accumulate over time, but they're selling their Bitcoin to keep going, and over time, when they run out, the price will go up. These one-off events will come and go. And like I said, we'll have this conversation. We will have this conversation again at 65,000. $74,000 was the local top, yes, but it's not the final top. Peter, I'm not telling you to wait 10 years. I'm telling you to wait 15 months. I'm telling you to wait until summer to winter next year. And that's what I've said all along. Okay? You wait until the end of the bull run to sell. You wouldn't sell your house in a recession unless you absolutely had to, right? You'd sell your house during good times, okay? And we all know the housing market runs on its own cycle, okay? And we're getting to the end of that cycle as well. So you have your housing cycle. The stock market goes on an 8 or 9 year cycle. We know that as well. Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle. We know that as well. You can't apply your own logic to cycles. The cycles ignore your logic. I follow the cycles because they've held Bitcoin, they've held the stock market, they've held the housing market fine for the last 50 years. Chris says, everybody says buy, 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 nobody says sell. I think since April, we have all been down, doing nothing, just holding is a loss since April. It's not a loss if you haven't sold. If you bought the top in April, you are down. If you bought in July, September, October last year, you are still nearly 100% up. So the people you're talking about are the people that bought the top. But you could say that about the people that bought the top at 69,000. You could say that about the people that bought the top of Tesla or the top of Microsoft, the top of Amazon. If you buy the top, of course you're going to be in the loss. You can't pick the top. What you can do is you can look at the average person and say, are they in a loss? That's what you can do. But you can't just pick one random date and say that was the top, everybody's been in a loss since then. I bought at $3,000, so I'm up 19x, and I'll be up 10x if it goes to $30,000. That's just the way it is. Anyway, it's now 20 past. I've got videos to make. It's Friday. You all need to go out, get some fresh air, watch my video that I put up about the strategy of how to deal with this, and see you. I think we might stream tomorrow. I don't know. I'm tired. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow with the Oracle. I tell you what, if we rebound from here and we start to go up today, we're not going to stream tomorrow. If we come down to 51 or 52,000, then we'll stream tomorrow, and we'll do an off-the-cuff stream tomorrow. We won't plan anything. We'll just do charts and talk to you guys. So Tommy has said, I am heavily invested. I can't buy huge buys. I'm still dollar cost averaging it in every 2 weeks from my paycheck. If you dollar cost average into anything over a period of time, the FTSE index, the Dow Jones index, crypto, if you dollar cost average in over a long period of time, you will gain more than people who trade. The greatest traders in history, believe it or not, are all dead. Now that sounds strange, I get. Dead people don't trade because their portfolios don't have any actions on them. So when they did research into who are the best traders, expecting to find some mini Warren Buffets, people who don't trade, they are the people who make the most money because they don't emotionally react. And what you're seeing today, especially, is people emotionally reacting. And that is human nature, okay? Look at what the title of the stream is today, Be a Bear. What do I mean by be a bear? What I mean is, hold your portfolio and be bearish. Fine, hold your portfolio, go and line that river, lap up the water, just be a bear for a few weeks until we're out. But like I said, if you're going to walk away from crypto today, fine. But do me a favor, when we're back at $65,000, come back to the stream and have a conversation with me. When we're back at $75,000, come back to this stream and have a conversation with me, okay? Because we are not going to go to zero. This is freak events, one-off events, not disasters. Anyway, take care, everybody. If you're new here and you like my ranting and you like conversation, listen, you can say what you want. I'm never going to cut you off. If you think crypto is a scam, fine, say it's a scam. I'm here to debate with you. I am more than happy to hear your opinion. I am more than happy to debate your opinion. It's never going to be a channel where we kick people out for being sad, being bearish, being emotional. It's fine. I'm here for the bad times. You will find people who won't stream today or tomorrow or the day after. I'm here. I'm never going to take my $74,000 target off the screen because that's where we're going to go to. I have that belief. So just relax, take it easy, don't panic. Mantra has a new partnership. Now, that is bullish news. I'll go and have a look at that. I was saying before, I think before you logged in, Peter, I was saying the only two trades I've made this year so far have been Near Protocol, which I bought at 520 and 505, and what was the other one I bought that I told you about? Ondo. The next one on my list is Mantra, and it's going to be a speculative trade because they're not live. So I'm expecting to get Mantra on the cheap, and I'm not going to hold a lot of it, but I am going to buy Mantra because I think I've only got really Link and Ondo in my real world asset portfolio. So Mantra is going to be a big one, but again, it's speculation. It's speculation. It's not live. The issue is when it goes live, it will be huge. That's the problem. So you buy now when it's speculative and you see where it goes in the next 6 months. They're going to be live before the end of the year. Right. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thanks to me, I'm starting to understand crypto. Well, you know what? If these are my opinions, okay? These are my opinions. Kabir, Chris, Peter, Tommy, who else is in here? Mags is in here. Hidden Agenda's in here. They're all opinions. My opinions are based on 8 years of studying crypto. It doesn't mean I'm right. They're my opinions. And I will argue the toss that my opinions are right based on the information that I have. That's it. Anyway, I'd better go. I've got to go make a video. Have a great weekend. If we stream tomorrow, see you tomorrow. If we don't, we don't, and we'll see you on Monday. But take care. I'm going to go and check out that Mantra partnership now because I'm fairly bullish on Mantra. And these are going to be good prices to get Mantra at. Don't know what it is today, but I'm going to go and have a look. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Take care. Remember, in fact, one of the things, you know what? Hang on 1 second. Before we go, there is something really important that I'm going to share. And this is something I put in the OG video. Okay? And I'm not going to give you a link. I don't care about links. What I want you to do, I want you all to go and read this book. It's not a long book, okay? And it's old. It's quite old. 2017, okay? I want you all to go and get that book, okay? The reason I want you to go and get that book is so you understand the mentality and the emotions connected to trading. Everything, your portfolios in stocks and shares and bonds, your crypto portfolios. Go and read that book. I have read 50 books, 100 books, maybe not 100 books, 60, 70 books about various different things to do with economies and stuff like that and trading. That's the only book that sticks in my head. And the reason it sticks in my head is it's like a brief history of time. If you've ever want to know about the history of mankind, go and read A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. That's the go-to book on that subject. This, for me, is the go-to book on trading and portfolios. And the reason it's my go-to book is because it does what it says on the cover. It makes you unshakable. And you have to change your mentality. The same way, if you want to go and run that marathon, you have to change your diet, you have to change your sleep pattern, you have to figure out how to train, okay? And unshakable is what you will end up being. If you want to understand the mentality of trading and holding a portfolio, that's the book for you. And as I said, I read that book, what's that now, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, no, 6 or 7 years ago, I read that book, and it stuck with me. And it's the only book I recommend. And again, you can go and read your own books on it, but read that book. It won't take you long. I think I've read it twice, and the first time I read it, I think I read it in 2 days. And then I had to read it again because I didn't believe what I came out with from that book. And no, I'm not a Tony Robbins fanboy. I'm not a massive fan of his shows. I'm not a massive fan of what he does. He does help people, but I'm not a massive fan. But I am a fan of that book. So go and read that book. That's what I'll leave you with. You've got a weekend to read that book. I want you all to come back to me on Monday, having read that book, and say to me, I am now unshakable. Anyway, that's it. Take care, everybody. Manta is on. That's what you want to get. Right, I'm going to go. Would I be a millionaire if I bought $10,000 worth of Mantra in 10 years? I don't know. That's 10 years is a long way out. I think it could do 100x, but it could do 20x, it could do 50x. I can't guarantee. There's no guarantees in crypto. It could be a disaster. It could go live. BlackRock could build a better platform than it, and everybody goes to BlackRock. That's the issue. BlackRock are building a tokenized stock exchange in Texas. Anybody that tries to compete with BlackRock will lose. That's the opinion on it. Right then, the token name is OM, by the way. I'll put it into Telegram. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. I've got to go. This is really overrun. It's 12:30. Bye-bye.